kind of a mess. I get the keys, open the gate. Andrew and the other caravan that he has behind him is on their way. And mow this place up. Hello and welcome to our homestead journey. We're so excited to share how we started transforming this piece of land into our dream home and help bring restoration to this property that had been neglected for a long time. When we decided to take this leap, we knew it wouldn't be easy, but we were ready to embrace the challenges and make this place our own. In this video, we're going to take you through the very first steps of our journey. Moving on to the property, rebuilding our water well, constructing the well shed, and starting our cabin build. We've learned so much in a short amount of time, mostly through trial and error, and we can't wait to show you how far we've come. So let's dive in with what it was like to move onto the property and face our first big challenge, getting access to water. When we first arrived on the property, it felt like stepping into a whole new world. Everything was raw and untouched, and while that was exciting, it was also overwhelming. There were so many unknowns waiting for us. Plastic. Isn't that nice? And to add to that complexity, it was in the middle of the Texas summer with excessive heat waves going on. It was miserably hot. Moving in was an adventure in itself. It took several days just to get a portion of land cleared enough to park the tiny camper that we will be living in until we get our cabin built. There wasn't any cell phone service since it's so far out into the woods, and the electricity and internet needed to be set up. We made several long trips to find cell service and contact utility companies to come set up service. We quickly realized that life here was going to be all about adapting, and that started on day one. One of the biggest challenges we faced immediately was water. The well on the property hadn't been used in years, and before we could even think about settling in, we had to figure out how to make it functional again. The water well became our top priority, but we had no idea how big of a project it would turn out to be. When we bought the property, we were told that the well only needed a check valve installed, which was a $30 part. So at first glance, it seemed straightforward. Just clean it up, install the check valve, and get it running again. So I said installing the check valve now, have to make sure that you get the flow in the right direction.
Yes. We like doing things backwards a lot, but not this. Probably should have left that on so I can square, but
I'm gonna plug in the pump and see if installing the check valve and ball valve and cleaning out that one hose was successful.
it's trying now.
It turned out to be more than a check valve, and although we were able to get some water, the pump wasn't holding any pressure. On top of that, we were learning everything as we went, researching, asking for advice, and making mistakes along the way. Neither of us had any previous experience with water wells, and my husband quickly became YouTube certified. There were definitely moments when we thought, are we in over our heads? But little by little, we figured it out. And when I say we figured it out, it was because we ended up having to pull the well ourselves. By hand. My husband, mostly, because I wasn't strong enough, but I was there for moral support and cheerleading him along the way.
Tell me, how can I get through to you? How can I get through to you? Need to know how can I get through to you?
That's a good question. Surely if it would come gushing out, it would show pressure here a little bit.
I guess.
It would be like back pressure, wouldn't it?
That's more flow that we get when the pump is on. At 20 pounds.
Oh, I was just kidding.
Okay. Woo, thank God.
When I turn up, you get going. At every stop, baby, oh, it's showing. If I should stay, you find a reason to leave. When I'm busy, that's the time you are free. Just tell me, what should I do?
Based on what little information we'd gotten from others, we'd assumed our well would probably be around 100 feet, 30 meters. That is the average in this area. So we pulled and pulled and pulled some more, expecting to reach the bottom of the well at any moment. And to our bewilderment, we finally reached the end of the well at 250 feet, 76 meters. Just in case you were wondering what it looked like at the end of the pipe once we pulled it out, this is it. This is called a jet, and this is called a foot valve, and that goes into the well that sits in the water table. So this is the bottom of the pipe, and this is how much we pulled out yesterday. That's where we started. We replaced the foot valve, jet, put the well back into the ground, and reassembled the pump and pressure tank, crossing our fingers that it would be a success. Okay, so here we are. We got it all plumbed.
14 weeks later.
I don't know what we're... Oh.
Pressured up.
Oh, it pressured up. That's the first time ever.
I'm letting you push the air out right there.
Getting the well functional again was a huge milestone. It wasn't perfect, but seeing that first stream of water was such a relief. It reminded us of why we started this journey, to create something from the ground up, and to build a life together. Now that the well was functioning again, we knew it would need protection. Andrew wanted to build a bigger well shed than the previous one. It needs to be big enough to move around in, as well as house a water filtration system. We also plan to use the well house as a hub for our future solar setup. Like everything else so far, we were learning as we went. We were also learning how to work with each other. He didn't really need my help, but I wanted to learn. He works in a fast and efficient way. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum, moving at a snail's pace. But hey, at least I move, right? We had to learn to meet in the middle with our energy levels. Overall, though, I didn't want to get in the way too much, so I mostly observed and helped when I could. I do appreciate his patience and willingness to slow down a bit so that I could be a part of the process. I would say the hardest part was the concrete. Definitely do not want to be a concrete layer ever in my future. Since rebuilding the well shed, it now has a functional door. It is very well insulated. He has installed a water softener, a water filtration system, and a 1 horsepower pump. The previous pump was only half of a horsepower. There's also going to be this space here for when we have our solar set up. It's going to be the hub for that. And yeah, it stayed really cozy in here during the winter storm that we had. That's why my plants are in here. And so here we are inside the well house. It's very nice. With the well up and running and the well house built, we were finally ready to take on our biggest project yet, building our cabin. This has been the most exciting and challenging part of our journey so far, and we're still in the process of bringing it to life. One of the biggest hurdles we've had to work around is time. My husband works out of town and is only home for 1 week a month, which means that we have to plan carefully and make every moment count when he's here. A lot of heavy lifting happens in that short window, and when he's gone, I focus on the smaller tasks to keep progress moving forward. It's not always easy, but we're making it work. There were 2 unfinished cabins already on the property. We decided to turn one of them into our tiny home. Our cabin started as a 12 by 24 foot structure, giving us approximately 288 square feet of space. But to make it more functional for our needs, we decided to expand by adding a 12 foot by 12 foot room on each side. This expansion increases the total square footage from 288 to approximately 576 square feet, about 53.5 square meters, nearly doubling our living space. This extra room will make a huge difference in making the cabin more comfortable and practical for everyday life. We started with clearing out the area and laying the foundations where the new room additions will go. We opted for a pier and beam foundation for the room additions since that is what the existing cabin is on. From there, we just kept pushing forward, one step at a time. Of course, nothing ever goes exactly as planned, and we've hit our fair share of obstacles, but each one has been a lesson in problem solving and perseverance. We added 2 layers of insulation before adding the decking. First, we added a rigid foam board insulation topped with mineral wool insulation called rock wool. Rock wool is a more eco-friendly option than regular fiberglass insulation, and it's supposed to be non-toxic. I should be helping my husband. I want to be helping him, but I am distracted right now by mushrooms and the forest. Okay, so we have the subfloor down. for our bedroom, and also same on the other side for the washroom. Now I think he's going to take down this existing like wall that's there so he can join the rooms together eventually. This morning, Andrew's doing framing for the walls and they can go up.
Yeah, that's the one that's on. Yep, I'm getting there.
Yeah. It started raining at like 2:30 in the morning, so he had to come out and he put this plastic up all by himself. Try to cover up what work he did yesterday. But today, he's just having to work under it. So muddy, and here comes more rain. How do you feel about the rain? Sucks. Bullshit. Bullshit?
Yes, I would like to work, and the rain is stopping me from doing that.
Looks like a regular size house from back here. Cool. And this is our stopping point on the cabin this time. My husband leaves in a couple of days to go back to work for 2 weeks. But he got so much accomplished. My goodness. We have a bedroom that has walls and some nice big windows. Really nice windows. Love it. And then also we got the walls up. Framing done for the bathroom and the washroom. And so next time he comes home, we'll put framing up for roofing and tie all this in together. And obviously there'll be more things to happen. See how it goes. We have a nice big window that's going to go there too. Can't freaking wait. The season seemed to change overnight. It seemed like a proper fall had finally arrived, albeit late. Along with the beautiful colors came rain, and a lot of it. I had had a small surgical procedure the day before Andrew left for work. All seemed to be going okay, but everything went downhill as quickly as our late fall had arrived. I started having severe complications from my surgery, and we started having leaks inside our cabin. The temporary roof wasn't holding up. I tried my best to stay on top of the situation, but despite my best effort, it quickly got out of hand. Like dripping and holding water in the corners. Anyway, I just come out here every couple of hours, I guess, to check on it. Today I just dumped that as full, just dumped that as full. I guess the main thing is if it's not leaking inside. I just gotta patch some holes. really need to take it easy. I'm like hurting so bad. Oh my god. But I gotta patch these holes because some of them are really bad. I don't like these tall ass ladders. And of course I didn't bring a towel. Oh man. I gotta go back to the freaking trailer. So these tabs were attached. Plastic is attached to the roof. I just put some duct tape over them because that's where they were leaking. Tried it all first and then put duct tape. I don't know. I've done all that I could do tonight. Like I need to patch some more holes, but I really don't need to be on the fucking ladder when it's raining at night in the dark and no cell phone signal. And plus my husband said just don't worry about it, so I'm gonna go call him back. Take some pain meds. Hopefully this rain will stop. The rain was downpouring and it pulled so much in the corner that it just, I was in there trying to get it to push the water out, but it just came down, the rain came down so quickly that it just caved in. So now I have to fix the floors, or at least put some plastic over the floors. Hopefully I'm soaking wet. Oh my god, that was a lot of water that came in. Okay, thankfully the rain has slacked off, so this is just what's over in there. I have no words right now. Like I'm so disappointed, but I am feeling a little better because I was able to get my thoughts together enough to get the wet back and vacuum the water up all that I could. So yeah, right now I'm just letting the buckets catch the drips. I vacuumed as much water as I could off the floor. Okay, we're gonna go get a tarp to put under the buckets because the buckets, I'm not able to position them, so it's collecting all of the water. Most of it though. God, it's just like flooded here. It was like it came like a flash flood. It was crazy. I think one thing that's like one of the really frustrating parts about this whole thing is that I was like trying so hard to be proactive and like get out there and make sure that the water wasn't puddling so that this situation didn't happen. And I was literally in there like pushing the water out when it just came down so quickly and so much rain. It just was a matter of seconds. It just puddled up and then just caved in. My brother-in-law is coming later when he gets off work to help put plastic back. Hopefully we have enough plastic left over to make another attempt at protecting it just for a few more days till after Christmas, till after my husband can get home. As much as I didn't want to, I had to leave the cabin as it was so that I could meet up with Andrew in Houston at my family's for Christmas. My brother-in-law was to come to try to cover the roof again while we were gone. My husband reassured me that we would figure it all out once he was home. However, my heart was really heavy leaving it behind. I was so proud of all that we had gotten accomplished, and I wasn't sure if we'd have to start all over again. And even though it felt like a huge setback, I knew we would figure it out. We always do.
Yeah.
We're still working on the cabin, and there's a lot left to do, but we're excited to share the journey with you as we go. This is just the beginning, and we'll be releasing a series of videos documenting every step until we're finally able to call it home. In the next video, we'll be diving into framing for the roof and getting this baby dried in. So be sure to subscribe and follow along as we keep building.